Hello, this is Snow White Bigfoot. This video is to show some structures that I found on our last vacation in North Carolina, September 2016. And if you haven't checked out My Bigfoot Diary Part 3, you should do that because this is the same area that I found the structures in then, in 2014. So this is a really interesting area. So we'll go ahead and look at what we found this past year. This is the first structure that I found, not too far from the path. So at first I thought maybe it was human. But once I got to looking at it closely, I just really don't think it was human made. Because it's just the way that Bigfoots make structures is just not the way a human would do it. And as you can see, the limbs are broken, they're not cut. And this border with those logs around it, what's the purpose of that? I don't see a human doing that. And this is a nice little area to sit down. And you could watch the trail. I don't know if that's what they're doing or if it's a hunting blind. I'm not sure the purpose of it. I do think it's some sort of a blind though. That's the ground. It's a sandy area. And what's interesting is that this is on the Outer Banks. Before 2014, when I found all the structures there, I would have never thought Bigfoot lived on the Outer Banks, but now I think they do. The structure was probably 5 feet tall, I would say. Onto some breaks that I found. There were just random piles of sticks and limbs laying on the ground. This is a break. More limbs on the ground. This is a lean. This is a break. Then I walked back in further past that and I found this break and an arch. And this was pretty tall. I wanted to walk way back in there, but I couldn't do it that day. This is another break. And then I found leans all over the place. These are a few. This is a close-up of the one we just looked at. This is the same one. And another one here. And here. And then there were some big ones, as you can see there. And another. I'm going to pause this and tell you a little something here. Those posts are all along the trail. They're the trail markers as you go back in there. And from when I started going on vacations down there back in 2008, we would see pine cones up on top of these markers. And for the longest time we thought people were messing around and sticking them on there, but over the years we just kept finding them like that all the time. So, and then as we started, like in 2014, seeing Bigfoot structures, we started putting it together. That's probably Bigfoot's putting those pine cones on the posts, which is really interesting to me. Just wanted to tell you that little story. Okay, we'll move on. Another big lean. And another. And another. And one of my favorite things, sticks stuck in the ground. Out of all Bigfoot sign, this tells me that there are Bigfoot in the area because there are only two creatures that would do this, a human or a Bigfoot. And I just don't know of humans going around putting sticks in the ground. So to me this says Bigfoot is in the area. I don't know what they mean. I wish I knew what they meant, but all I know is Bigfoot definitely put sticks in the ground. I find them around our home all the time. This is a small structure. See the branches cascading down. Had a pine cone in the middle, and this branch that serves no purpose just laying up here. Find that interesting. I think it's interesting a lot of times how these structures are kind of artistic. Like the way these branches come down off of here. To me, it's kind of pretty. Next, we found a large structure next to a horizontally hanging branch. This is the horizontal branch, and this is the structure. So first we'll look at the structure. It was pretty big. 10, 15 feet tall, I would say. Again, I don't know if this is a blind or what the purpose is, but this is just detail of that structure. And then the horizontal branch. See, it's about, I don't know, 5 feet up off the ground. Didn't just fall there, it was placed for sure. And this is the branch in the foreground and the structure in the background. Then we found all along the trail pine cones put in these odd places. And they weren't just, they hadn't fallen, they were placed, sometimes shoved into the position that they're in, like this one. Shoved down in between 3 branches sticking up out of the ground. That's another one just stuck in there. And number 4, see a lot of them were put in knot holes of oak trees. Because there's a lot of live oaks on the Outer Banks. Just, I don't know why they put these pine cones everywhere, but it's interesting. This one is super interesting. It's just stuck on the end of that branch, like shoved on. There's just no way that happened naturally. It's impossible. Really, really cool. And this one, number 10, was just jammed down in. I mean, that was tight. As you can see right there, it was pushed down in there. This one's harder to see. It's right there. Here. That was placed too. That one's interesting. This one was stuck on a little nub sticking off the branch. This is the nub. We took it off to show what it was on, and then we put it back. So, I mean, that was definitely placed also. Number 16, stuck up on that broken log. Sure wish I knew what this stuff meant. Number 19 is that small structure that I showed earlier. But the pine cone was placed in there, so I included it. Number 20. This is interesting. No way this happened naturally. That's the knothole of an oak tree. Pretty weird. Actually, this is the same as number 18. And the last one. So yeah, one or two of these things that I have shown in the video, if they were individually, or separate, then maybe it would be a coincidence or nature. But when you take it all into consideration as a whole, it's a sign of an intelligent, creative creature with purpose. So, hope you enjoyed watching, and thank you. Come back and see new entries.